It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, where division rivals will clash in the NFC South. It's the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, and it comes your way next.
First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. Today, we've got an NFC South matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
Pinion has this one teed up, and we are underway from Atlanta. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by Sam Darnold in his 5th year now out of USC.
And the thing with Sam Darnold is we know the skill set is there. May not be the most mobile or strongest arm quarterback in the league, but usually plays with really good poise and at his best, like a point guard in basketball, able to move around and distribute the rock.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. To throw is Darnold. And that one going to come up short. Low throw. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. Here's Williams to return. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And they'll be led out by Marcus Mariota, former 2nd overall pick back in 2015, now in his 8th season in the league.
Coming out of Oregon as the Heisman Trophy winner, we thought that this guy was headed towards superstardom, and while he didn't quite reach those heights, he did have some flashes along the way. And right now, his athleticism continues to keep him in the league. Still has a good arm, mobile, a great guy to have in the locker room. He can win if given an opportunity.
Mariota now to throw on first down. That's to the speedster, Olamide Zaccheaus. And he'll have it past midfield, almost to the 40 before being taken down. A very solid gain of 27.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Opening carry in the game for Cordero Patterson. He had to fight that time. Ran through one tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Complete to Zaccheaus. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 32-yard line. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protecting himself as best he could while completing the play.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. 1st and 10, it's Patterson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. See the athleticism there of Brian Burns stopping him behind the line.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Darnold. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Panther football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. A carry for Foreman. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Faking the give. Darnold. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't it?
He really does. And I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
Patterson, he'll try it up the middle. 5 yards on the carry, good pickup on 1st down.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable second down.
Now here's a throw that's complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, you're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Brandon, that's what you call being manhandled at the point of attack, and I know the offensive line gets a lot of blame for that one, but occasionally the defense just knows what you're going to do. Maybe they scouted it perfectly, maybe someone tipped it off, but on that play, it had no chance.
2nd and 14. Mariota. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Olamide Zaccheaus, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And they're able to add on to their advantage.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set, and racing going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. Extra point forthcoming. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. Just a 4-play drive that time. And the Falcons score to cap it off. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. Roberts electing not to try it, and this will come out to the 25. The Carolina offense about ready to go. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. They'll start on the ground with Hubbard, and he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. Now it's Darnold. He'll fight his man, Laviska Shenault. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Darnold will throw it on 3rd and 1. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. Touchdown, Carolina. DJ Moore, 66 yards. And the Panthers have got it back to within a score. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Piniero's extra point up and good. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Piniero to kick it off. Fielded just outside the goal line. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. The Falcons offense set to go. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. We'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now this throw caught left side. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
First down, Mariota. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Mariota. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. Interested to see what they dial up here. 3rd and goal with a lot of green between them and the end zone. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive. Stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Panther offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Taking a shot here for Marshall. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. For the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Darnold. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of the game plan that they've executed to perfection.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. Oh, the return is Williams. So we're at halftime here in Atlanta with the Falcons out in front. As we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for Carolina. And they weren't able to get a whole lot done throwing the football. That'll likely be a big key if they want to turn things around in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they too didn't throw the ball as well as they would have liked. And I think both teams would say there's room for improvement in the second half. We're just about set to get back to it. Both teams making their final adjustments, and we'll head back to Atlanta and rejoin Brandon in charge.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Falcons ready to go back to work to start the third quarter. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box, establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. On play action, Mariota. He's going to look deep down the field. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down. They'll run with Patterson. And he is finally going to be brought down, but not before he gets it to the Panthers' 38-yard line. Well, they only needed a small gain on third down. They end up getting over 30 yards. If they're going to try to complete this comeback, they need more runs like that from him, because until that point, he's been virtually shut down.
And based on where they are right now in this game, you would expect the ball to be in the air. But his ability to break off those types of runs, you can get big chunk plays on the ground as well, and he just provided one.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. Defense. They've done a good job on these receivers, pretty much held them in check, and they're a little too close for comfort.
And you're always looking for a play to get you going, right? You're looking for someone to make one. But maybe this penalty, this pass interference call, that can help shake them loose.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. Now an option play on 2nd down. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They'll try to throw now. Mariota. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. He went backwards there 8 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Mariota. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Olamide Zaccheaus, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Falcons take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you've taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
And so they run it in on the two-point try, and so often, Charles, we talk about, from the offense's perspective, what you do on the two-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the two-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for two. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. Now the opposition laid down the challenge, an opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
It'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's Darnold. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Falcons grab it. Room here to run. Loose inside the 30. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
So it's a turnover there on the last fumble, and this third quarter could not really have started worse.
I think that's a great observation because this was a close game at the half. They gave up the touchdown the opening drive. Now they turn over the football. This game, they can get away from pretty quickly if their defense doesn't step up right here.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. They'll start out here with the option left. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Marcus Mariota keeping it himself from 10 yards away. And the Falcons are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. So they're down in the red zone. They opt to utilize his legs instead of the arm. It works out pretty well.
I like what they were thinking there because in most situations now, defense is accounting for all the other runners on the field and, of course, for pass plays. But the quarterback position, oftentimes it is unaccounted for. Offense coordinator felt it, dialed it right up.
Inside the red zone, is this something teams should maybe, depending on the quarterback, do more often?
Definitely. If you've got a quarterback who can actually move it with his legs, that's an extra option and an extra weapon for you. I think they should utilize it more often.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Roberts electing not to try it, and this will come out to the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Back now in Atlanta. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. From the 50, it's Darnold. He's going to look deep for more. Touchdown, Panthers. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept him out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on him. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and it's now 28-14. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Play fake. Mariota. And complete to Drake London. And he'll be brought down at the 27. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Straight ahead, Patterson. Down at the 25.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on his faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On second down, a run with Patterson. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
On third down, Mariota. Throwing left side, it's complete. Touchdown! Olamide Zaccheaus, 26 yards. And the Falcons have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Now Younghoe Koo for the extra point. He's got it, and the lead stretches to 35-14. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here.
Probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one, And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew he was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth, but a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ballgame.
Now following the sack, Darnold and Carolina left with a 3rd and long.
They'll drop to throw. And this one is incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
4th down, and for Darnold, it's desperation time. He's going to let it fly.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
So out come the Falcons now.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
55 rushing yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I know we're in the era of wide open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football. We just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. Once more, they turn to Patterson. Trucks over him and brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal.
They'll run with Patterson.
That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set them back for 2nd down.
Now, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
Well, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.